Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of The Fun of the 50s, Ads, Fads and Fashions by Robert Opie. Now this book is obviously a fairly small book. You can see obviously by the size of my hand to the book. It's hardback of course. It's got 128 pages, colour throughout, predominantly. Well, obviously there's some black and white as well in that. But of course there is the absolutely brilliant 1950 scrapbook also by Robert Opie, which covers a sort of similar area as well. But this is an absolutely lovely book. Totally love all the scrapbook series. But I'm just going to go through this book. So 128 pages, 2016 this came out. I don't think, and I haven't seen one, and I might be wrong completely, that there's a 60s and 70s etc. version as well. But this one is the 50s. Lots of magazines, pictures of the period, the shoes, the various, well, you can see there the contents. So My 50s, obviously an introduction, electrical appliances, food mixers, groceries, breakfast cereals, frozen food, sweets, and much, much. So it's sort of covering a similar sort of subject to the ones that are in this scrapbook. But it's got, I love all this one, Dixon of Dock Green, Space Patrol Cumbers, Swappets, whatever they were, Blend Right, Head Grips. I love all the magazines of the 50s as well. You can get all the sort of like Woman's Own magazines, etc. and Woman's Weekly, etc. And they're just brilliant. Harper's and Queen, whatever. And however, so penny for thought, you've obviously got an introduction there. Of course, you've got the obviously old money there. I love all that old money. Got some of that still in the cupboard. Of course, you can't use it now. So, and then you obviously got pictures there. Introduction, and then onto the actual various things. I've actually got that. Love that. 1951 Festival of Britain. I would love to have gone to that, but of course, a few years before I was born, so unlikely I would have gone to that one. Coronation as well, covered. Of course, Coronation, a big event. And you've got like the kitchens, the kitchen design, electrical appliances. So you've got all the toasters, obviously various other dishwashers, etc. Always fascinating to see the different designs. Of course, things have changed, and of course, at the same time, they're much the same. I mean, actually, if you look at toaster, not that much difference. Just basically the same thing. Toast bread, weirdly. However, I must admit, I use an air fryer for that now instead of using my toaster. But you've got here groceries. Not certain groceries. That's, I suppose you could put licorice all sorts in there. I love licorice all sorts. Bassett's licorice all sorts. Great. And you've got a whole range of different ones. Of course, well, I think they're still much the same now. And you've got there some, of course, a lot of these things, Cubs, cornflakes, etc. Cubs I haven't seen for years. I don't even remember seeing Cubs. I mean, it's possible I had grape nuts. I remember grape nuts. Maybe grape nuts are still going. No idea. You've got also drinks, of course, Corona. Maybe, probably not one to mention at the moment, but you've got the Corona drink there. Yeah. Obviously cigarettes and also novelty soaps. I mean, I remember all these ones. You got here David Crockett and all Archie Andrews and wow, all that sort of lovely soaps and things and different designs that you could get. Absolutely beautiful. Washing clothes. You got some of these products, I'm certain, are long gone. No idea what this one is. Sturgeon. Not perhaps the world's greatest name, but I suppose it's sort of sterile maybe. That's the sort of thing that they're suggesting. I don't know. Love this. Electric blankets. Can't beat that sort of thing as well. So you've got loads of that. And of course, television. You've got all the old television programs. Now, if maybe you're watching Talking Pictures TV. I love Talking Pictures TV. So lots of these old films and also TV series are now on that. TV fun, Arthur Askey. Remember Arthur Askey very well. Daily Mail television yearbook, handbook I should say. Television picture faults. Well, hopefully that is not a book that's regularly used nowadays. Let's go in for quite lovely illustrations. Got the lovely illustrations there. And of course, what you've also got with this book, which is great, you've also got some little introduction to the subject as well. So just give a bit of information all about the 13-channel tuning. Seaside destinations, South Sea, Douglas, Weston-super-Mare, actually a couple of Weston-super-Mare, Whitley Bay, and so on and so on. And just holidays abroad, of course, we're coming in. Didn't have a holiday abroad for, I can't remember my first holiday abroad, so about 1980s. It wasn't certainly in the 50s, but I guess some people were heading off. I know my mum went off to Spain, so clearly people were doing that. You got I love those ones. They were brilliant. I love the Charlie Buchan, seen that's how it was said. Johnny Ray, love Johnny Ray. I still love the music now. Judy in Love, brilliant. You got all the album covers. Got lots of books with album covers. Now the album covers here, trade, fairly small. So you got very, very tiny ones. And there's not many examples, of course, but there's still a few. So it's still great. I love those like 1950s cover albums. Just brilliant. And also when you actually get some, you can find them in markets, still pick them up. And they're just great covers. They just got that weird sort of look about them. Sort of I don't know, I can't really describe the cover, but it's certainly very different from the sort of modern LPs / obviously CDs, completely different. You've got rock and roll. You've also got the show business stars. You've obviously got the picture goer. And I've got a couple of copies of those. They're absolutely brilliant. Mr. Pastry's annual. Most odd. Books for children. PC 49 annual. Chuffety Puffety. I don't remember that one at all. Of course, Rupert, of course, there. And it's just full of brilliant ones. And also got all the games. I remember that one, Marvello. Maybe Marvello. Knows all, tells all, answers all questions. What's the secret to the universe? 42 kind of thing. No, probably not. Plasticine. Oh, I assume that's still going. I don't know. No idea. No idea at all. Plaster modelling, model casting sets. This is just great. Just full of brilliant one. Obviously Noddy, very prominent one there. Robin, all the magazines, Watch with Mother, and many, many children's television now, and so on. So if you're really into the 50s, I think this book is just lovely. I love these sort of books, and I quite often, anytime I see a book like this, I always pick it up, I must admit, especially if it's reasonably priced. Wow, this is just, Enid Blyton's Road Safety Colouring Book. Wow, very useful, I guess. But that's, imagine that's many of those colouring books, of course, have been coloured in. Certain collectors, of course, will only get the ones that are not filled in. So that's certainly cycling and many, many more. What a wonderful book this is. As it says, evocative book, feast for the eyes, and will bring back many an absolute joy to read from start to finish. I love this sort of stuff. Fun of the 50s. Just a pity that, let's say, I'm not certain there is a 60s one, a 70s one. I would love to see a similar sort of book like this for that, but this came out in 2016. Maybe that will happen. And actually, you can find out obviously more. There's the company, O'Mara, there. So you can just see the details there. Follow us on Twitter, as it says there, O'Mara Books. And also available as an ebook as well, it says. So very up to date. Obviously not really particularly 50s, but wow, what a great book. Totally, totally brilliantly recommended.